Well, what's the crack? How are you getting on? You're all very welcome to episode 136 of the Ramble Pod. Mind Jesus, lads, you're doing fair well. How's it going? I wasn't actually going to release this one until Monday, but fuck it, sure, why not? It is Friday the 14th. Hey, it's fucking Valentine's Day, you bunch of romantic bastards out there. Thankfully, I didn't realise how unromantic I was. Only when I heard a conversation that my wife was having with a woman, she went, no, we don't go in for that shit. Sure, Tom's the most unromantic fella. In the same way, sure, Tom wouldn't wear them trousers. And it's great. It's great. It takes the pressure right off. You know what I mean? But happy Valentine's Day. Whatever it is, I don't fully know. I mean, we know the history of everything else, really, don't we, who we're celebrating. St. Valentine's, I don't know. Are his bones in Dublin somewhere? Hey. He probably boned a few. Oh, Jesus, Tom, don't. For the love of fuck, don't do it. Thanks very much to everybody who got in touch this week. Hey, you're being fucking ultrasound of late. Sending me screen grabs, sending me the podcast they listen to and all the rest of us. Send me fucking on all that shit. I want to know all that stuff. Who's listening? The whole lot. Hit subscribe if it's your first time listening, of course. Do you know what I mean? Hit subscribe. And this will pop into your ear. So I put it out early because the Harden Up podcast, we couldn't get it done. The 2 days we'd planned, Owen got pulled away by Paddy Power, and the next thing I got pulled into a fucking writing gig as well, so I just couldn't fucking make it happen. But we are meeting up Saturday, tomorrow morning, as you listen to this, so we should have one out Monday. I'll get it cleaned up and put out Monday. Please God, I'll get it out, and we should be fucking hot to trot. It's just trying to combine two fucking weird jobs. Do you know what I mean? Two weird jobs where, you know, he does sketches and whatnot, and I'm writing or doing stand-up, one or the other. So, hence the reason why I'm putting this out, because I want to keep it in your ear holes. Also, I've got a nice few bits and pieces for the old Ramble Pod. We've got one more Ramble Pod before it moves over to Patreon, everybody. So I'm going to do number 80, probably for Tuesday or Wednesday, just to balance it out, Wednesday next week. And then, yeah, we should have to harden up ready for the following Thursday. Yeah, just trying to look at the fucking calendar here. As far as gigs go, as you'll listen to this one, the only one who can fucking think of right now, I'm in Cork tomorrow night in City Limits. So, come on down if you're in the Cork region, pop on over. Yeah, like I said, keep on sending on them screen grabs. And just let me know. Just say, you know. Or, if you are listening to Apple Podcasts and you haven't reviewed yet, although fair fucks to you, a good lot of you have, I've got a lot more reviews than a lot of other people. Because, you know what I mean? I speak to you like you're sound people. And I go, hey, so guys, this is the magazine show that has been fucking cleansed through bleach and a filter so that it falls into your ears like fucking gooey bubblegum. Nah, I talk to you like normal fucking people. Hence why I end up getting nice sound fucking reviews. So, if you haven't thought about it before, and you're allowed to, I don't know, can you review on any other podcast apps? I don't know, but on Apple Podcasts, it drives it up, the listenership. It pops up in more people's screens if they're coming, just looking for comedy podcasts and whatever. That's the reason for it. You don't get anything else. 5 stars will do nicely, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much. There is, of course, the merchandise over at the Tea Republic shop, which we will have some new designs. A listener, good on you. All will be revealed. He showed me the first sketch last night. It was fucking class. I loved it. So we're going to collab like that. He's a tattoo artist and we're going to fucking collab. I'm going to put these up for sale. Yeah, so that'll be in the merch shop over in Tea Republic. Look in the show notes down the bottom of this in the description. You'll see the link to this whatchamacallit. I'm on social platforms too. All of them. Buckshot is on Instagram and Twitter. Mostly it's there purely. I don't really fuck around with the one on Buckshot. But in case you haven't listened to all the episodes, and because I'm partially fucking mental and have a touch of Alzheimer's, I fucking put up all the guests so I could remember who I had on. So have a scroll down through it if you haven't, because like that, a lot of the old podcast apps, they only show you 10 at a time, then drag their hole about fucking showing you any more for some weird reason. Have a gander down through that. Of course, Tom O'Mahony comedy everywhere else. Chatty Snaps, if that's your bag. Tom Bear O'Mahony on Chatty Snaps. Yeah. And that's about the fucking size. Right, moving on to today's guest. Today's guest is Allie O'Rourke. She's a comedian. was second in Ireland at kayaking. Yeah, and a first for the podcast. She's the only trans comedian that I know. I think the only trans person I know. I've met a few trans people before, but the only trans person I know. Good crack. I mean, and you know what? It's good to have a chat to people that you don't know anything about. Really, you know what they're all about, which goes for most people I talked on the podcast. But the fact that Allie is such an interesting kind of a, much like kayaking, an interesting kind of a turn on life. It's just a bit of a fucking different vibe, isn't it? And it's good to find these things out. We didn't go too hard into that kind of stuff because, as you know, this is a comedy podcast. I don't look for the sad story in life. Not unless somebody wants to tell it. And we'll probably have a bit of fucking crack with it regardless. But this one was a right bit of crack. So sit back, relax and enjoy Allie O'Rourke. But here we are.
That's what interesting you're saying about older people and leaving them alone, though. Because I remember in the run up, this was long before I was out of the closet. But I remember in the run up to the marriage equality referendum, I was talking to my granddad about what way he was voting.
What age was your granddad at the time?
Coming up on 90.
Right.
Yeah. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna vote. Yes. Suppose we have to give it to the queers."
What?
You know what I mean? It's just also I love that. I can't imagine what my face was like at that moment, but the moment of yes, and then just okay, better than nothing.
Both my grandparents, they've done this, but my grandmother has passed since, but they've been on the podcast, and it was around the time I remember asking him, and Granddad must be 94, 95, and I remember him. I says, "What way are you going to vote?" He says, yeah. He says, "It's only marriage. Relax." And his next words were, "Look, them poor misfortunes can't help what they are. Nobody can help what they are." And it was it was empathetic because he didn't know any gay people. Do you know what I mean? So but he was still going, fucking let him at it. But if you wrote that on paper, people go, "Oh, well, that sounds very, backhanded fucking compliment." And it's, but he's an old guy doing the best they got. You know what I mean? That's the best. And that's pretty good because there's people from, probably in their 20s who didn't agree with it, and you're kind of going, well, you've no fucking excuse, lads.
Yeah, at least he's operating on a human level. You know what I mean? He
was born during the Second World War, for Christ's sake. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, well, yeah.
Before it, even.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, before the Second World War,
that doesn't add up, Tom.
It hadn't even just come out of British rule, for fuck's sake. So you're right, you do have to let people be individual. If they're having their own little moment over there, fucking let them at it. I've always said, if it doesn't cost me any money, I don't give a fuck what anybody's doing. And once, you know what I mean, once you're not being a bollocks in any form, if it's not costing me any money and you're not being a bollocks to anybody, drive on. Drive on.
Yeah, and if you're a bollocks, accept you're a bollocks sometimes. There is, leave room for people to be a bollocks and write them, let them right their wrongs as well.
It would be a boring bunch of bastards if there wasn't a few bollockses to go around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially most comedians, we're all cunts. Let's be honest.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt. There's very high levels of cuntage in comedy, and I know
wonderful people. We're all assholes.
ironic to say, the job is to go out and try and make people happy, but you do need a cynical level of cuntiness in you, don't you?
Yeah. You do need an inherent troll in you as well. Doing stuff just that'll annoy somebody. I don't know why I have that natural instinct in me, but just
to vex people. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I can't let a thing sit. You know what I mean?
She's vexed. I haven't heard that word since the 90s.
Yeah, I know. And I'm trying to bring back some words like snazzy.
Snazzy.
Snazzy hasn't been used in a long time either. And I'm trying to bring vex back. I'll tell you, I hadn't heard it in years, and I watched Gladiator about 2 months ago. And there's a scene in it where he realizes Maximus is alive and all the rest. He says, "This vexes me. I am very vexed." And I remember thinking, I should say vexed more.
Vex needs to go back.
Vexed is a great word.
There's some great, older Irish slang, but I think it came from, that generation, like the generation we talk about, our granddads going to the cinema and seeing stuff like not quite understanding the slang. Like Grand definitely like was completely misunderstood.
That has been bastardized, something brilliant. Like, but again, being Irish people, we absolutely own it. You know,
it's ours now.
Like to be something to be grand is a great thing altogether. Like, you know what I mean? But to be grand now is only, well, it's typical Ireland. Like, it's only okay.
It's okay. Yeah, we've reduced grandness to mediocrity. Like I love
the Grand Canyon is.
Sure,
it's grand.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Like
it's a hole in the ground with a river through it. Like
relax,
it's grand.
Relax,
relax.
Where are you originally from? Because I know you told is
we were talking about this. We were talking about the different types of culture we are. You're a wood burning culture, and I'm a bog burning culture.
Yes, yeah.
Which is our great bonding moment on the steps of the international. Well, I think it was who was looking on in the amusement? There was somebody there just.
Yeah,
I think it was Davey or somebody. Davey'd understand.
Well, Davey'd understand because they're farming sort of people, and they have a bog as well. I think.
They keep a bog.
Now Davey wouldn't strike me as the sort of fella that would foot much in the way of turf. Like, you know, he's the softest hands in comedy. Like
he's low to the ground, so maybe.
Yeah, right enough, but half bags on him.
Surprise you.
Yeah. This is the thing, wiry little fucker. Like, you know, he might surprise me.
That's it. You won't have to stoop too much. Like,
and he really does embrace being a culture when you talk to him about it. Like he became obsessed. He was telling me with the PlayStation farming game.
Yeah,
became obsessed with it.
I think his new hour is about cows and wrestling, which is the most on-brand Davey thing I've ever heard.
Because Davey is a lip ring. Like who in Cavan? What Cavan farmer has a fucking lip ring?
I love it though. I'm like, yes, I'm here for this.
Your juxtaposition. So where are you originally from?
I'm from Athlone, actually, originally.
Oh yeah, the town.
Outside the town.
Yeah.
I grew literally where I grew up. It translates into boggy land. I'm on a hill above the boggy land.
You can never take offence if we call it bogger. Yes, I am.
I spent most of my childhood in a bog.
So is that Roscommon or Westmeath?
On the Westmeath side. I'm a hybrid though. I'm half Rossi, half Westmeath.
Oh,
yeah, it was a mixed marriage. Like, I remember my granddad on my dad's side, the other granddad, telling me a story about when he like growing up in a farm in rural Roscommon, and the horse got sick.
Oh no!
The horse got sick.
Yeah,
and like 3 tractors, like the horse getting sick was it? So his father went on this epic, like something out of J.R.R. Tolkien, like on this epic journey to see a horse doctor in Westmeath. there was a ferry across Loughree, and there was all this, and people were like, "You went on a boat."
Christy Moore has a song about that somewhere, like, you know.
But he was saying for like a month afterwards, people were calling to the house to hear about the queer folk of Westmeath.
Oh my!
It was like 10 miles away. It was like. It's like 50s Ireland to a T. Like,
oh my good Jesus Christ! Yeah, my grandfather's only description of going to Dublin once for car parts was they went into kind of a working restaurant, you know, like a working man's restaurant, for all the better word. It was a cafe, and the woman had just a giant pot of mashed potatoes but had no implement to put it out. She was just using her hand and just slapping on your plate, and it was at that point my grandfather knew, I don't want anything more to do with Dublin. These people are fucking savages. And this is a guy coming from the countryside. He was like, they don't even have spoons in Dublin. What's wrong with these people? Like, so, and that's still at 99. That's what he still believes. Like, there's something wrong with these people.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Like, I love the reverse notions of that. Like, reverse snobbery of the country to Dublin. Like,
well, you see, people do kind of jump the guns every so often, like, and they go, oh, you know, because it's a big city and all the rest of it, that there's misinterpretations. People think, well, you know, they must be very backward in the country and stuff like that. But for years, there's been, you know, highfalutin people in the countryside, like, and there's been large parts of cities that were pretty much in the fucking Stone Age, like, do you know, same way, like, I remember talking about, like how people talk about cities being dangerous. Cities aren't dangerous. They're full of gangs of people that might collectively become dangerous. Yeah. You can go to the countryside and meet one man that could kill 10 of you. Do you know what I mean? That's the guy you need to be worried about.
It's like Hot Fuzz. It's like, who has guns? Farmers and their mothers.
Exactly. That's exactly it. The dangerous people are in the countryside.
I love that in Tipperary. If you pull in off the motorway, somebody will automatically show up in a big fuck off Jeep, and you know, they're like, who are you and what are you doing here? It's like, I'm moving now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to send a text. I'm sorry.
Especially in North Tipperary, because they've had a lot of robberies.
Yeah.
Like, and if they see a Dublin Reg car around, like, they've had a lot of... And they go around like a militia. Fully armed up, and the cops don't touch them. Like.
Yeah, you're not messing... Well, I rock a Rossi Reg for a reason. Like,
there you go. That's it. Now you're talking.
They get the colours going, like...
There definitely is, when you're down there, if you have a Dublin Reg, there definitely is a different vibe, like, around...
Even, like, just, like, if you're stuck behind a Dublin Reg, like, you're like, oh, motherfucker's driving.
Yeah, and it could be anybody. Like, yeah.
Braking because there's, like, it's a 2-lane road, but they're braking because there's a car coming the other way. It's like,
have you never been on a fucking, country road before? Like, yeah.
Well, then we're the same when we come up here, like, I'm in the wrong lane, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just what you're used to. But, yeah. No, it's weird, though, as well. I get that a lot. Like, I've had a couple of, like, the woke comedy producers say this to me, that like they don't think my act would work down the country. It's like, I'm reared in the country.
Yeah.
Like,
are you joking? Like,
yeah.
No, yeah. But you see, there's almost like this. You must abide by these certain rules when you are, let's use the inverted commas for the podcast, woke or anything else. Like, I remember when I started comedy first, meeting like the likes of Davey and a couple other lads, and they were going, hold on, but you played sports and you still love Lord of the Rings. How is that allowed? It's like, no, it's allowed. Jesus Christ. But people love putting people in boxes and just going, get into that box there, and because that's easier for me to understand you in that box. Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Everyone does that. Like, I guess that's a human reaction, but like, that's not even like the woke, like, that's both sides.
Yeah.
It's like, the weird thing about me and my stand-up is the people who like it are a lot, are girls and women in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And then lads in their 50s and 60s fucking love me. But then when you stop and think about it, it's like, oh, I'm a dick joke comedian, so it makes sense. Like,
dick jokes are always going to be funny.
It doesn't matter if it's a woman telling them or a
man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think if people have chosen to come to comedy too, also, it's not like you're doing the McSavage from 10 years ago where he was just berating people on the street with comedy. Like, if people have physical...
He's doing it on Instagram.
Yeah, no, he's still doing it. Yeah,
I love it, but yeah.
Yeah, he's gone a bit of bananas on Instagram.
I love it.
Like, I was on to him for years, get yourself an Instagram account. He's like, yeah, it's not really my thing. He gets one, and he just will not come off it.
Yeah.
Like...
Probably the best Instagram comedian going, to be honest, because the content is so good.
Colossal.
It's like, dude, you can literally just do a one-liner video selfie thing, and people will like it. You don't need to produce a 3-minute short like it.
Unbelievable production. But even I was saying about like, he left all those clips to RT, and I remember getting them, like, to be on a WhatsApp for friends that live in Brussels and stuff, and they're going, what is this? It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. And
I'm going, this is another thing that McSavage should have power over. Like, he should have an Instagram account putting all these clips up from the Savage Eye.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And I remember driving back from Limerick going, would you ever fucking do something?
Get the rights.
Or at least share the rights with them. You know what I mean? Like, because... if they're not sharing it on TV or themselves?
Actually, I was thinking, I presumed he got the rights back, but knowing, like, seeing the set recently where he talked about burning bridges with Orty, I think he might not got the rights back and just decided to go, screw it. And I'm like...
This is it. Well, I mean, they're never going to replay it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they may, but they probably couldn't. You couldn't get that show made now.
Oh, definitely.
People would shit the bed. You know what I
mean?
mean?
I don't even think it's like because of people losing. I just don't. I think Orty have gone even more conservative. You know what I mean? Like
they probably have, and they've lost all their money. There is no money.
Yeah, like I probably shouldn't be burning bridges, but I was in the Orty radio studios and I was like, oh, this is like the 5th nicest radio station I've been in, and I'm like not in that many radio. Like the equipment's obviously great, like, but compared to, like, say, Radio Nalifa's radio stations, which is actually a proper state-of-the-art, or 2DFM or News Talk, which are all like spanking brand new, look deadly, or she is like the same room from whenever they built it in the 70s or whatever, and they've just updated the equipment, but it's just not. It's
strange that they've kind of left them behind on some of the things. Now, some of the shows have, their own little studio. They look the part. Like I was in with Orla Feeney. She does like the trance. Now their room is class. It's big like leather couches, every neon lights. It looks the part. You know what I mean? But she said weirdly they blew the budget on that, but now they're letting people go. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like pick your fights. Like
you could put on more quality and all the rest of it. And where did you start? Did you start doing comedy when you came to Dublin then?
Yeah, I was in Dublin and I went to a show in the Laughter Lounge. Friend had a free ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always loved comedy, growing up and stuff. And like I went to shows when they come through Athlone. Back then, Athlone had a proper theatre that was a professional theatre. So
is that the Crow?
Dean Crow, yeah, which is a great actually little theatre. Like but so you'd have everyone come through once a year, all the comedians. Like so, but. I was in Dublin and I was at the Laughter Lounge and I saw some comedian, I can't remember who it was, but somebody died on their arse and I went, fuck that guy, I'm funnier than him.
Right, yeah.
Turns out I'm not, but I booked a gig and 3 weeks later I was just doing comedy and it just went well, so I kept doing it.
Brilliant. Yeah. And how long ago was that then?
That's August 2018, so...
Oh, right.
I'm a noob, like...
Right.
Yeah, just been gigging a load since. Yeah.
Well, you have to. Like, giving it a crack once a month, like, you know what I mean? And you can tell the difference in the people who give it a crack once a month,
Yeah, I'm like 300 plus gigs in a year and a half or whatever. Like, so it's just like, but like the scene in Dublin, you can do that now.
Yeah.
Like, I think I was talking with Mick Savage about that and he was just like, wow, because there's just so many open mics and random nights that you can just, team nights, like the Nerd Herd, where you literally... Have you done that one?
No, I haven't, no.
The Nerd Herd's brilliant, because the Nerd Herd is basically a new material night where you just get on stage and you pick a subject that you nerd out about and you just throw all the crap against the wall. And
what did you nerd out about?
I did Eileen Gray, who's this this Irish designer, modernist designer from the turn of the last century. I did 10 minutes on it. I didn't write any jokes.
That's some niche shit right there.
But they loved it. Like, it was
That's
just
great.
Like, and then Davey Riley got up after me. He was meant to do 10 minutes, did half an hour.
On fucking farming, I bet you.
Wrestling,
right.
It was one or the other, like, and it was just brilliant. Like, a good, 5 minutes of it was him just doing crowd work. And where are you from? This country or this country? It's like, oh, there was a wrestler from there. Just, like, unloading his encyclopedic knowledge about making it funny, like, or Retrovision as well, which is a great night.
Oh, Retrovision, that's upstairs in that show, isn't it?
Yeah. That's literally just talking crap about movies.
That does sound like a bit of crack, actually.
It's good fun, definitely. Davey Riley did that about wrestling.
How many times has Davey Riley featured on this fucking podcast
I
already?
know, it's just like Davey Riley.
The Davey Riley Appreciation Podcast. Yeah.
We love Davey.
No, fuck that guy. He's alright though, he advises me on sausages and stuff like that, even though he's a vegan. Like, he out of nowhere, it's hilarious. I saw these sausages in Aldi the other day and they were like the most bizarre flavours of sausages, like bacon and cabbage sausages, fucking chocolate and honeycomb sausages. And I was picking them up and I just put it on Instagram going, what the fuck is the word coming to? And Davey just messaged me straight away. He was like, I know that bloke. Been making sausages years in Cavan. He's famed for his sausages. It tells me a big long story about your man's sausages. Just like, turns out they were grand. You know what I mean? But the man seems to have a hand in everything when it comes to...
He just remembers stuff.
Yeah.
He just retains stuff and regurgitates it in a funny way.
Davey doesn't drink either.
He doesn't drink. Yeah,
that'll be why he retains and remembers a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like. Me and him have that in common.
You don't drink either?
No drinking, yeah.
Are you vegan as well?
Yeah, I don't drink.
You're going full woke altogether, aren't you?
That's it. I actually have no material about being vegan. I remember I was telling somebody I knew since I started comedy. It's like, oh yeah, I'm vegan, and they're like, no, you can't. You don't have any jokes about being vegan. You can't. It was like,
oh, you're not allowed, right?
No. Like, it's just like you. How have you not mentioned yet that you're
vegan? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be vegan because you haven't joked about it yet.
Yeah. Like, I must only know you through your comedy.
Yeah. Heaven forbid you. Yeah. Well, I also like,
I have a grandaunt who's a dairy farmer, and she was like, "I can forgive your transsexualism, but I can't forgive."
I'm kind of with her a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
come on. She's single-handedly holding me and my ex and my family responsible for the death of the dairy industry.
Well, yes, obviously, just a handful of people are as a result of
5 people.
Yeah, nothing to do with the fact that their supermarkets are absolutely bleeding them dry.
I think it's more that, to be honest, they're getting a rough hand off.
It's nothing to do with vegans. There's about 7 vegans in the whole country, for fuck's sake.
Me and Dave are weird because, fuck Dave. Dave just keeps going, no, but I'm a culty vegan, so it's a weird, because I have perspective of both, you know what I mean? It's not as academic for me. There's a realization, of a reality.
Yeah, well, you actually are schooled on it, because I've met people who said they're vegans, and you're like, why the fuck? Wait, you couldn't be vegan. you are walking around murdering animals as you speak. Like, I remember I did a bit about it before where I had this row with this woman, and she was just a hideous person anyway. She was like, the way she spoke. But she was wearing Manolo Blahnik shoes and Louis Vuitton bag. And at last check, I bet Louis Vuitton doesn't shoot plastic cows to make these fucking bags. And
shooting plastic cows.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know? That was a bit from it. It's like, cows don't give up their jackets that fucking easy. Trust me, I've asked them. But, go for it. It's not something that fucking bothers me in the least. If it doesn't cost me a penny, like I said, and nobody's acting the bollocks, drive on, like,
Yeah, I just see it as one less thing to be shitty. I'm shitty about loads of things, everyone in the world is. So that's just one thing I've chosen to particularly not be shitty about, if you know what I mean. And, I'm not gonna... I probably was quite preachy and stuff. And in fairness to my aunt, my ex... is a vegan food blogger, so she probably thinking, For a while, I was known as Vegan Daddy, which was, which is just a disturbing phrase. It was like, I remember being on because she'd have quite a lot of followers. But I remember we were at a vegan march, and there was some girls just like, "Oh my god, that's Vegan Daddy!" I could hear them. I was like, "Oh, that's first of all dysphoria. Second,
that's." Amazing.
And that's when I knew I had to transition.
Only because of that.
Only because of that. Yeah, that turned me trans.
Tell me this, when did it, obviously this is a thing, it has been in your fucking brain forever.
Oh yeah, as long as I can remember.
Well, I say obviously, I fucking know, but, I mean, at what point was it dropping the handbrake here? Fuck this.
First came out when I was 15.
Right.
That was 2005 Ireland. That was too early.
That's it.
That went badly, so that's okay, I'm going to go into denial mode for 10 years.
Right,
and then I was just so I was really into kayaking at the time, and I became obsessed with
kayaking?
Yeah, whitewater kayaking.
I suppose it is big around that. Yeah, there's some good spots, is there?
Yeah, the Midlands is okay. It's probably not the best, but I can get anywhere. And there was one really good river to learn and train on called Indy in Ballymatton.
Oh yeah.
It's a great trout fishing river.
It is, yeah. No, I know Ballymatton all right. I remember getting tires there once.
Nothing there but cars. I don't know.
Cars, canes own the whole place, don't they?
They had a great import-export business. Then I was there one day, and the referee were there, and it was
haven't they all gone to prison at some stage for different things? Your man was laughing about it with me one day. I was in there, and it was like, weren't all in prison or some stage? Because we were. It's just an open fucking book on. Yeah, sure. What's wrong with a bit of jail time?
Ballymatton was great. Ballymatton, for anybody who doesn't know it, is this town in Longford, and
is it a town?
Yeah, it's the second largest town in Longford.
Is it?
Yeah, well, Granard. So third largest town. So what is it? Maybe 600 people live there,
right?
And a bit more, maybe 1,000 people. And at one stage when I was growing up, they had 16 pubs.
Fucking hell!
And it was it's a one street town. So what they used to do every year, they had a summer festival, but they used to have this unofficial event where lads would basically do a pub crawl but race each other.
Oh my God,
have to drink a pint in every pub. Maybe one or two guys would finish.
Sweet Jesus!
Yeah, it was just carnage. So lads started at one end and had to go up one end of the street and then come back and drink a pint in every pub.
To work up to the point to be able to smash 16 pints, no bother. That's a serious athlete. We're drinking athlete.
Athlete, yeah.
Holy shit!
Or somebody with a severe problem, or both.
So when did you decide, fuck this, I'm off?
I don't know. It's kind of, because it's weird. Everyone wants an exact date.
Or there isn't one. There
isn't really. There's a little thing. I remember one time I was in college in Carlow, and Carlow got to me, and I was just really fucking.
Jesus, Carlow does some queer things to people. All right, I've been there.
Queer things to you. But I just got so depressed that I went and got my belly button pierced.
Oh, well, sure.
And that was okay, I have a problem. I'm 26 and I'm getting my belly button pierced. I think it's time to admit
I'm not a 17-year-old Shakira. What am I doing?
Yeah, and I consider that the start of my transition.
Right. Well, yeah, I can see it.
Reverted back to being 15.
What did you study in Carlow?
Industrial design. Which is such a random...
Sounds like some Greg.
Oh, actually, it was. I really enjoyed it.
Well, as a civil engineer, I know.
It's like civil engineering, but it's engineering, but it's got a bit more creativity to it. It's got a nice mix of that. Like, so it's all crazy. What was this? Hence the Eileen Gray bit.
Right.
Because it's a bit like. When you go to college, I was saying it's a bit like Angela's Ashes, where like one master will beat you for not knowing that Devil Airs. It's like one master will beat you for not knowing this is the best chair. That was like they're obsessed with chairs.
They fucking love chairs. Designers love chairs, and they love chairs from like the 50s and Skanda. Or
go back a bit more to modernist chairs. And they're like, luxury,
a good chair.
I
saw you eyeballing these stools when we walked in. All right,
it's like, whoa, look at the legs on that stool.
Oh, Christ! They knew what they were doing back in the day.
Yeah, right. French modernist design. Still knocking around.
It's like your man George Clark. Did you ever watch him? He does like he's a big, tall Newcastle bloke. He's a designer. He's an architect on Channel 4, and he goes to people's houses that need doing up or whatever, and he does it. He's a bit more charming than Dermot Bannon. You know what I mean? But he always gets him a present of some sort in the end, and it's always a fucking old chair or something. But it's always a piece of furniture, and he's going, and he can talk the fucking legs off this chair about this and that, and you're going, I'm not seeing it, George. I won't lie.
You talked the legs off it. Did they buy it from IKEA?
Quite.
Hey!
But again, it's the excitement around the design of a chair. It's like, what? I'm not seeing it. And it's almost that part in the show that I'm guessing everybody goes, right, George, chair bit. We'll just go through that. The handful of designers that love things like that will go, go on, George. More about the chair, George.
One of the lecturers was like particularly obsessed with chairs. But he told me he used to, before he had a kid, just obviously put it down for him. He used to go to the UK once. There was like a chair club, and they'd all gather and they'd bring their favourite chair. Talk about their favourite chair. Like, I get it. Like, from a design point of view, it's like the thing you interact with most in the world is a fucking chair. Probably your bed or a chair.
Now you know what your next nerd fucking.
That's it, chairs.
Like. Just bring a chair up and see how much talking you can do about said chair.
Well, I'm trying to write an hour on industrial design, so probably I'll probably get 10 minutes out of chairs.
Are you doing an hour on industrial design?
No, I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to do a comedic interactive show.
Brilliant.
Where I go through the design process, but I'll get everyone in a room and go, right, what really like for the first phase is like identify a problem. So I'll get everyone in the room and be like, what fucking annoys you? And try to find the most ridiculous thing in the room, and then as a group we'll all try design the solution to it by the end of the hour.
Brilliant. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
So we'll save the world totally in an hour of a comedy show. Like, comedy can save the world. I remember one of the first projects we had in design history in college was like we had to pick a chair and like
fucking
do like make a little model of it and do a presentation. I picked one that was an architect called Frank Gehry, who was like this fucking off the wall architect. Like you see his poor wife. You should see his gaff. Every time you see his gaff, it's like a normal house. Except he keeps like changing it, but he does weird materials. So it'll just be like he designed the Bilbao.
Okay, Jesus, right, yeah.
But like it'll just be random bits of like steel coming out the side, like corrugated steel. Like it's like he stuck a tarp.
Again, all these things, like everybody can show their madness and all the rest, but all these things, that's a very rich man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He can turn up, like the wife will be a bit cranky for a while. I can't believe you built on another crazy thing out of crates. But I'll just go to the south of France for a week.
Yeah, I'm done with this now.
I'm just going to go to the south of France. Thank you very much.
It's like the same home he's lived in for decades. So it's a pretty modest house, but like he just keeps like Frank Gehrying it up. Like
yeah. But I suppose he's making his own museum of himself, really. Like just happens to put pictures of it up for everybody to see.
But the chair I picked was like made out of cardboard. But the idea would be like
is this all one piece?
Yeah, yeah. But the idea was that it'd be mass produced and like sold really cheaply.
It can be punched out, can't it? Like a punching machine can punch it out
and glued together, and people can rip it off and stuff like that. But then But then now it sells for like a couple of €100. Of
course it does.
So I just love that. I don't know. They were like, "Oh, you're the hippie one, right? Okay,
Right.
yeah."
But you've seen those ones that they're cardboard. They almost peel over into another shape.
Yeah.
Now you have to take your hat off to some design one. That's
it. I love. Yeah.
Those. What I really get excited by is the over-engineered doors. You know, it's like shed doors.
Yeah.
Like you could just open them like a normal door, but these lads kind of make them crack open. And then it's prized back together. You've seen the designs that some people can do. Like it just looks like a normal sliding door, but then all of a sudden, it just flips into two different shapes and then back together.
I love those kind of. I love like I both love and hate over-engineered.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like Dyson's, like they're great, they're amazing. They're like technical, but then also you're just like, yeah, but can you just like make it so everyone can have it? You know what I mean? So is that weird?
Well, that's the comedic cynic is where you got to point out. I'm sorry to be the one to point this out, but.
Yeah.
You're not sorry. You're fucking delighted to point it out. Like, you wanker. Go down the fucking... I do like the fact that they've stuck do not stick your dick stickers on. Have you seen some of these?
No, what's this?
On the dice and the Airblade.
Oh my god, that'd be so painful.
But people... I mean, it's just... Yeah.
I mean, like, that would save me a fortune on the operation. But like...
Thanks, Dyson.
Penis be gone.
Penis be gone. That's the new name of it. It's a pricey operation, I'd imagine. Such a thing, is it?
Well, I don't have any like this because the Irish system's so fucked up. Like, I have no like pathway to it. There's nobody in Ireland that can do it. Like, so
is there not? No.
Yeah. So,
for some reason, I thought the hospital out in Loughlinstown.
Loughlinstown have a centre, but I've named them now. I can't slag them off too much. God damn it! I can't even get into the waiting list for Loughlinstown. That's how messed up the Irish system is. And then if I do get in, it'll be like 3 years before I'm seen, and that's just the hormones. Never mind.
Right.
And they refer people across the UK for it.
Because you told me about that on the nights we were chatting in the international about the hormones you had to take, or what were they? Testosterone blockers, but it was making you. You said it was making you piss like crazy.
Yeah. And that,
so what are those?
I'm on two different things. I'm on a T blocker and I'm on estrogen.
Right.
Like, or titty skittles as I like to call them.
Titty skittle.
Or cock blockers, or
these are great names.
Tit tax is another one from the internet. When I first started, I used to do a bit about that. I was like, did she like that old? Means a whole new meaning to that old Tit Tac ad.
Yeah.
Did she just say her Tic Tacs about?
And what's the process then? Is it daily?
Well, there's different ways of doing it. I was on patches and gels, so the patches. It's like. The estrogen side of it is just the same as any menopausal woman has.
Oh, yeah.
It's just I'm not producing them, so I just have to take it. Get it from somewhere. And then the T blockers just stops testosterone from being
Are those prescriptive or can you just buy them?
No, prescriptive.
Are they?
Yeah, it's hard to get. Like this thing, any GP can prescribe them, but they won't because there'll be war. So like they have to go through all this like thing. You have to go in wear your best dress. You have to wear a dress and makeup and like talk like you're a character out of Little Britain and stuff.
What?
Yeah, you have to.
Do you?
Yeah, because you have to like pretend you're like a 50s housewife.
Hello.
I'm a lady. I have my tit skittles now.
I've been pressing flowers all morning.
But it's weird. That's another weird thing. Like I'm wearing a skirt. It's freezing outside. I'm wearing a skirt. Today
madness.
It's madness. But I'm wearing it because I'm doing 2 gigs later. And if I wear trousers on stage, I'm at least 20% less funny.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like
right.
Well, it's more like the first minute or two. It just
this is what I wanted to get into.
Fuck out of people. Like it's just like, oh right, okay, no, you have to address it by wearing a dress.
Because this is the perception people want to see, I suppose. Yeah. But I mean, perception goes for everything. I remember it was a couple of weeks ago. I remember talking to somebody on the podcast, and I knew a guy. He started comedy years ago when I started, and I remember he was very good, very sharp, really fucking sharp stuff. Yeah. But his problem was he was fucking gorgeous and in really good nick.
Too pretty for comedy.
Yeah. It was actually, you could see his stuff should have been getting way bigger reactions.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out. And it was only somebody who said it to me. The problem is, he's in fucking really good nick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So now, 20 years later, how's he doing?
He jacked it in. Just couldn't get any joy out of it and his stuff was fucking uber sharp. But the problem was his perception, which people go, oh, fuck that guy. But it's the same thing. Like if you're being judged on your appearance, yet your material is top class. Do you know what I mean? It's rough, like.
So weird. But it's a weird one because, like, a couple of people are giving me advice about it because not so much now. I found a happy medium, but like when I first started, I was super dark. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, and people were like, "Oh, they weren't expecting it." If you know what I mean?
Well, it's probably also for a comfort zone too. You go, I'll come at you with all guns fucking blazing, and that'll make me, because I could imagine you have to, because fucking standing on the stage is scary enough, and then you're going, right, I'm going to throw everything at these fuckers first. Like,
It's like, but that was nearly the troll part of the brain where I had to be like, no, you need to calm down and like, throw that stuff in, but you need to lead into it. You know what I mean?
Of course,
But that's just perception, because like there's another girl, Betsy Spear, who's an American girl who's just like real like American girl next door.
Right.
But she is the darkest comedian in Dublin, I think. Like, she's dark. She's just doing stuff about her stripper cousins and stuff like that. And like crazy stuff. And you're like, whoa. And like you can see the audience for the first minute just going, what is happening here? Because they come out on stage and you see this nice. And like you can either make that work or it goes again. Same with Emily Ashmore. She's a really young comedian.
Right,
and she's a really young, cute looking girl. And she goes out on stage and starts like doing stuff that you expect out of a female comic in her 40s. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and everyone's just like, and that works really well though. So it's like finding you can either go against you.
And have you now that the longer you're at it, have you found I suppose a smoother way into the darkness rather than coming out with the sledgehammer? Like,
I still drop a line at the start that's pretty much takes the elephant in the room.
Okay,
and then I kind of. I go a bit easier, and now it depends on the length of the set.
Right.
Because I do still love doing like a short set where I'm just like throwing dick jokes at everyone, and then like the longer sets you have to ebb and flow it yourself.
Of course,
If I do a longer set, I do longer bits.
Yeah.
So there's more flow to it, but it's a strange one finding the balance on that though. Like,
and how have you found the comedy community then? You know what I mean?
Generally pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because once you're funny, they'll just
nobody gives a shit once you're funny.
Like people say stupid shit all the time, but like for the most part, it's like, oh, okay, they're just like they're well-meaning. Yeah. And then there's a couple of. With every community, there's a couple of arseholes.
Yeah.
There's a couple of places I won't gig, but it's not like I'm telling nobody else to gig there. I'm just like, nah, that's
not working for me.
It's just not. It's not worth my. I'm just like, he's an arsehole. Why would I want to work with him?
Have you gotten more? Do you reckon you've gotten more easygoing yourself? Because I'd imagine, jizz.
Well, like, that's a general thing with trans people, though. I think because when you're transitioning or in the closet, you're online a lot more.
Yeah.
The longer you transition, the less shit you get on the street and stuff.
Yeah,
and you become happier. So you don't lash out. Like, it's not that you don't lash out, it's that when somebody says something shitty to you, you're just like, alright, I'm either used to it, which is sad, or you're like, that doesn't piss me off because I'm more self-assured. It doesn't affect me as much. Because
that's what I wondered. I tried to put myself in that position. I'm kind of like, I reckon I'd be hypersensitive for a while. Here, would you fuck off? Kind of, trying to defend every aspect of it, but then
you just like, you just get tired.
You're just like, I can't be arsed. Couldn't be arsed with the fucking dealings of it.
It's certain weird things. Weird, actually, like even when Christmas just gone, like with the stuff around Fairy Tale in New York and using. I'm like, I didn't give a shit about that 2 years ago. I was just like, that's just part of the song. And then it became some people made it a thing, and then I'm like in a room and there's a room full of people shouting faggot. I'm like, okay, that does get at me. Why is that getting at me all of a sudden? Like,
isn't it?
Why have we made this a thing? And like it's just like this has just become such a the context. It's like, and it wasn't even that it's in the song. That's a character in that song written and set in the 80s. Yeah. And I guess the female singer had stopped saying it in the 90s. She just took it out of her song. Yeah. Like, so you could do that if you want, but like it didn't annoy me at all. But like it didn't annoy. It was just part of the song. And then but people being so femininely wanting to say it was like, that's what more gets you. You're like, wait, why does this all of a sudden do all 30 people in this room want to shout faggot at the top of their breath with such glee? Like, you're like, what is going on?
Well, it's trying to be rebel, isn't it? Like,
I think it's just like the bold kid.
Yeah, that's all. That's all I can imagine it is.
It's like, oh, this word I can say that I didn't.
That I shouldn't be. Apparently, shouldn't be saying. But I do think that people could do it on our hobby as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A lot of people have a lot of fucking time in their hands. Like, I still get flabbergasted by this. It was a show I put up once on YouTube that I was in. It was a documentary / mockumentary. It was about ghosts. And, I mean, we staged a lot of it, like, you know what I mean? And it was shot brilliantly. It was for TV3, it was a pilot. Yeah. And nothing became of it, but the guy who had it gave it to me. He says, here, throw it up online yourself. Put it up there. Turns out people fucking love ghosts. It's got about 400,000 views.
Savage.
Hundreds. I never checked. I don't relate to it at all. It was a bit of crack. I missed through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But people are all about the paranormal shit back and forth underneath it, you know?
Yeah.
And there's this guy today, must have been about 16 comments, just as if he was in an actual room full of people and I was there at a podium and he was pointing at me. This guy, and apparently, no, I don't delete any comments. I don't care. I don't read comments.
Yeah.
But
when you start getting a few,
it was just my phone kept on buzzing. I went, I'm going to have to turn off that. I didn't know how to. I said, I'm going to have to turn the notifications off of this.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, this guy, really professional. I'm like, get a fucking grip, you absolute clown. And he was an actual Irish guy too. He denounced himself as being from Ireland.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, if you were middle America, I'd get this. But you absolute fucking clown. What are you talking about?
You should understand the tone. Like, you get a cultural...
Something of his must have gotten deleted by YouTube. Didn't like the cut of it. Which happened. And he goes, oh, why did you do... Oh, now he won't answer me. Oh, guys, can you see this guy won't answer me? I'm like...
Go away. I don't owe you shit.
I wrote back and I went, listen, you fucking tit. Yeah. YouTube delete what they want to delete. I couldn't give a fuck. How about you get a hobby that doesn't involve you commenting on videos, you lose? Like, honestly, get a fucking grip. But these are the same people that are on Twitter, you know what I mean, arguing back and forth about the word in a fucking song from the 80s. That's fuck off and get a job or do something that keeps you too busy to be worried about that kind of stuff. Like,
it's like on Renta, there's an Irish comedians group.
I had to leave that a long time ago.
I had to leave that hilarious. But there was a recent flare-up over whether somebody could call themselves a comedian or not. I was just like...
I don't understand.
Yeah, whether you have to reach a certain stage before you can call yourself a comedian or be a professional who's amateur. And it's just like... I don't really care what other people do or don't call themselves, and that's why I'm left it. But then somebody kept buzzing at me trying to I'm just like, no, I have a life. I have 2 jobs and 3 kids. I'm going to go do something else rather than wait. Like, what is, like, where do you get time to...
I can only imagine millionaires have the kind of time these people have, or lotto winners. I would love... I don't know,
but it's an easy thing to spiral. Like, I can see the rage spiral that brings you into it, and like...
But having the time, physical time to stay at it.
Yeah.
What job do you have where no boss is watching you or asking for results?
Must be civil service.
It must be. It's the only thing. Or they're millionaires. They're the only people I could think that could have that.
Well, they were comedians, so not likely.
Not likely. Yeah, right, no.
Well, actually, maybe this is the kind of the job where you work 20 minutes a day. Maybe that's the kind of job you can argue on the internet.
Well, I'd imagine you were a fucking soundboard for some doses. Because, of course, you would be their image girl for what they need to fucking... Do you know what? Do you know who I'm going to ask? Yeah. And see, I'd imagine... Because that night, there was a lady came out, an old one came out of the gig in the International that night. And you were being so polite. Because she was now telling you what you should be doing. And it was clearly she was just...
So funny.
She was trying to get over her own discomfort with the situation. Yeah. But she
said... Oh yeah.
Maybe you should do more material about actually being a girl than, not... And you're like, what?
No, it was like she came out of you... she was going on about how she goes to this open mic called Open Michelle, which is class crack. Like, it's just a women's only open mic, but it's good. It's not running at the moment, but it'll be back. But it's just so funny. It's
great.
It's just
great name. It's Open Michelle.
Yeah, it's just like... So, like, I did material there once where it's like, I told a joke my then 4-year-old son wrote and it killed, and I was like, cannot use this room for new material anymore. Not a reason. It's so nice and supportive.
Yeah.
But like, she'd gone to that and she was like, have you heard of Open Michelle? And I was like,
oh, is that what she was saying?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I do. But she cut me off before I could say, yeah, I do it every month. And she was like, you should be like the girls at Open Michelle. You know, they're really nice. And she was basically telling me to be nicer. Like,
right.
She said you shouldn't be as aggressive on stage.
Isn't it phenomenal? Like, you know what I mean? Where an owl one can come out.
Yeah.
You know, but like also there was people who seemed to be quite supportive and were like high-fiving and stuff like, great job. But
sometimes it's like, do you actually like that, or do you like the idea of it? Or...
Are you just trying to justify the fact that you're super woke or whatever right now? Do you, like, there must be a moment in you where you're like, thanks, but would you all fuck off? Like, fuck off, but thanks.
Even when I started, I definitely got, in some places I got certain opportunities quicker.
Right. And
then in other places that like the door is just shut and would always be shut.
All right.
So it's just like, it's a weird balance in that, like, but like sometimes you're like, oh, I feel guilty, I got this spot ahead of my friend who started at the same time, who's as good and not better than me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, am I getting that because I'm trans, or am I getting that because, oh, I'm interested? You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes it's just that, like, oh, that'll add a palate cleanser of some description to a lineup where it's not like, you know, because sometimes, like, the argument for me really about having more women or more people from different backgrounds in comedy is, it's just, if you have 7 comics on a lineup, it's just more interesting if they're not all the same person. And that could be stylistic, not even like, you know, like somebody do, like, if you having 7 of the same style of comedian, never mind 7
absolutely,
of the background. Like, so it's just a weird, like, that one was just,
do you get much of that shite where people want to pull you aside and tell you what they think about your...
I definitely get it more than other
you get it more than I fucking do it.
Yeah, well, you definitely don't tolerate... You, I was like, no, it's okay, Tom. Tom wanted to throttle her.
I just can't hack that. It's like, would you ever fuck off? Do you think I'm going to wander into your job and tell you what you should be doing?
Yeah, I think it's come the day job as well, where I'm just like really good at just smiling and just being like, yeah, okay, yeah.
What's the day job?
Flight attendant.
Oh yes, you told me that. Yeah,
I won't mention my airline, but I work in, so there's a lot of that just being like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm good at like managing that. But it's a strange one. Yeah, it's like the fine line between being a pushover and like it's not like reacting because it's not worth it. It's the same thing. Like, I was running between 2 gigs last week,
right?
And there was some random in the street just went, "What are you?" And just
really?
and then at that stage just like screamed at him, "Suck on my hair, this tranny balls." just go, and then just walked away. Like, just left him there, just going like,
what do you say?
Because you're just like, you have to shut him down somehow.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're just like, fuck off. Like, you know, what an asshole. Like, it's just like, I'm done. Like, I can't be dealing with you. And just walked away. Like.
I can well imagine. Like, it could be a situation we get into a lot of fights if you actually wanted to. Like, you know, but
I had a couple of. I got jumped a few times. And
got jumped? Did you?
Yeah, I got jumped by.
I was suggesting you would instigate the fight. Like,
no. Well, that's definitely
my first.
Happen.
That is definitely my.
That rage thing definitely comes a lot less the longer you're on testosterone blockers.
That's my problem. Maybe I need a couple of those.
It's just like,
take me down a peg.
The rage definitely goes away a bit. You're like, oh, okay.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It's weird the weird things that change, but yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, but I got jumped by 3 lads with knife stuff on Cork Street one time, and it was just like, I was skateboarding and so I always say I brought a skateboard to a knife fight and I won.
Fucking good on you up to
I got a bloody lip out of it, but they got a couple of skateboards to the ribs, so I think they learned a lesson.
Were they just trying to rob you, or what was the crack?
Just 3 young lads just having a go. Last time I heard faggot in the wild, actually.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh yeah, that word, maybe that's why I react more to that word.
Well, in that context, in fairness, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can see why I would stick with that one. Like,
I'm like, okay, maybe I won't.
That's heavy going though, the old flight attendant. I always feel sorry for flight attendants.
I love it. I always say it's like the modern equivalent of running away to join the circus.
I suppose a bit, yeah.
It's just like, a bit footloose, you know.
And what routes do you do? You around Europe a lot or what?
Europe and the US.
Oh yeah.
Mostly, yeah. So I'm gigging a bit in the US now a bit, but they're like
brilliant.
The most depressing open mics mostly. But, but
I've heard that alright, the open mic scene
but it's a real trail like to do.
Yeah,
so
of course.
It is an American medium, like, so it's kind of cool just to see it working there, or even just being in New York and be able to like, I'm going to go to this club and pay $20 and see fucking a top class like Bill Burr's here. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like,
they are spoiled for choice. Like, now there's a lot of shite too. Like, you know,
I find that a lot. Like, that about the Irish scene compared to the English scene too, is that the lower levels, like the quality is higher.
Oh, the standard here per head of capita, and I've gigged in a fair bit around the world, and the standard here per head of capita is higher than almost anywhere I can think of. There's more expected, I think.
Oh yeah, you can't
because and conversationally we're very good conversationalists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have to be outward looking to a certain degree too, because we're such a small nation. We're an island, so you need to know a bit about what's going on. Plus, the education system here is pretty alright too.
Yeah, and you're exposed to media from the US and the English, so you're getting mixed. Especially now you see it with like younger comedians. They're real. Whereas before we were like, there's some very distinctively Irish comedians, and then there's a lot of comedians that were very influenced by English comedians.
Yeah.
But now you see there's a lot of American comedy creeping in as
Yeah.
well. Mostly for good. Like it just means we get to the punchline a little bit quicker sometimes.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it's a bit like even the storytelling is there's a little bit more time.
But I found even in the 10 years I've been doing it, I found people's patience are shorter. So if you have a long bit, you gotta have a lot of fucking machine gun shots in the middle of it. Like people won't wait with you.
Exactly.
And that is just people's patience getting shorter because we're getting busier. Especially, the phone is always in people's hands. You need to be on it quick, like.
Yeah. Especially in the newer gigs when you're starting out, because they're like, that's crap, move on to the next one. Like the tougher. I love that about comedy. It gets easier the more you do. Not the more you do it, but the crowds get easier the more you do it. You get to do better rooms, like so.
Well, this is it, like, and I mean, like the likes of. Typically headlining too, people are going, they have a brief explanation, like, and there'll be a few that have seen you and they expect a certain, and you can see in that, like, when it's like in Galway especially, I sell quite well in Galway, and you can see it, like, people would give me all the time of the day, Belfast as well, ironically not down home or anything, like, but of course, but you get a brief sense into, so this is what a big name comedian has to play with. Like Tierney could go out and flute around for 10 minutes before a laugh comes, and people are still hanging on his every word because of all the back catalogue he has, and he has die-hard fans, like, I
mean, his new tour, he's doing a work in progress tour, and I think he's turned 30 year in now. Yeah, and like, he's probably good enough that it's worth that, but like, it's amazing that, and like, that he's so big that he can do that.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's crazy, but like, how do you find, because you've built up quite a following in a weird, like like compared to a lot of comedians in Ireland, you've actually built up a lot, especially on the road. Like how have you done that?
Just purely through, astronomical amount of gigs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're putting yourself out there to put at every opportunity be worth something. So like if you get a radio interview, understand what it's for. It's not for you. It's for the people listening. So you put on a show everywhere you go, like. Do you get me? And I think sometimes lads miss that. Do you know what I mean? So if you are invited into a thing of some sort, whether it's radio or whether it's even a TV shot or whatever, it's not the presenter, and the presenter doesn't give a fuck because they're just trying to get through their 20 minutes. Yeah. The person on the camera doesn't give a fuck. Who it's all for is the audience, and that's what you're selling. So people, you get remembered for that, like, and people go, "Oh yeah, I get that." And once you click that, always be worth something to somebody, cash wise. Always be worth money to somebody.
Because I always say that about like even the after gig interactions. Like, I think they're huge, especially in the modern world.
You do have to, yeah.
I see comedians somebody coming up and say, "Oh, was it great? Oh, I really enjoyed your set." Like, that was terrible. It was like, no, take the compliment.
Thank them very much, shake their hand, and take the photograph, whatever they want.
Yeah, they're your customer. Like, be cynical about it. It's really interesting, though.
Yeah, I think people don't take on the professional vibe. I took a very professional look to this because I jacked in a decent job at civil engineering to do this. Like, and I went, well, I'm going to be professional about this from top to tail. Like, I'm not going to be late for any gigs. When people ask me, for a photo, like we were talking beforehand, or for a bio, I will have one stock ready to go, even on my phone. You know what I mean? And I will have it to you in under 30 seconds. So that I'm not costing you any time or money. Yeah. Do everything must be appreciated as a professional. Like, so if you're going to meander around and be a total, like, I'm probably the anti-comedian in the sense that I'm not doing this for an artsy point. Now, I do love doing it, and I love having crack with the people. Yeah. Than I'm doing it as a benefit for me.
Would you call yourself a crack merchant?
Oh, there you go. But it's. I just believe you have to be professional about it. Like, and once you take that attitude, everything slips into place. You quite literally, everything must be for, as the phrase is easy, and Bob Monkhouse said it years ago, be worth something. Yeah. Always be worth something cash-wise to somebody.
Value added.
You have to be. As soon as you're doing it for some sort of, you know, if you're doing it just for the benefit of yourself to get, that's fine. Then it's a hobby.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it professionally, like I saw it in, like, a perfect example of it was, I do a panto every year down in Limerick in UCH. It's a big pro panto.
I mean, love that stage. I used to go to lectures in that place.
Yeah,
I love that stage.
You know the size of it.
Yeah,
like, and
it's amazing.
And they basically let me create my own character every year, nice. and it's ridiculously fun. And I've seen a few people come from a very big amateur scene.
Yeah.
And come in, but they're used to getting their pats on the back and being told they're amazing and be brought flowers to the whatchamacallit. Yeah. Our dressing rooms are, everybody's cool, everybody gets on great, but there's no hierarchy.
Yeah.
And you can see a rattle in the cage. Now, you have 36 shows to do. Like, you can see a rattle in the cages of a few people that have come from the amateur world, where they've made good money and they've done well for the sake of, I suppose, their ego. Yeah. This is not ego driven. There's 1,100 people twice a day to be fucking entertained. Get the fuck out there and do exactly as you did yesterday. And the second you walk off stage, you can drop whatever you want. Yeah. But you could see them struggling with not getting a pat in the back or a hug and being told they're awesome.
Yeah.
It's pro.
It's like you're in that transition from an artist to a professional.
Exactly. And that's what it is. Unfortunately, you have to bend the artist slightly. You can have the artist in rehearsals and create the character. Yeah. But once it's approved and you get to stage,
I think coming from industrial design and you from engineering, you kind of get that because you are creating, but you're creating in a professional capacity.
Absolutely,
you can't be precious. Like we used to stand up in front. I always said stand up was easy for me when I started because well, first of all, I'm trans, so I'm like walking on the street and staring at all the time. But second of all, like we used to stand up multiple times a week and present work that we were working on ourselves and just have it torn apart and just have to be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like I don't take a bomb personally. I don't really care. You know that kind of way. I just and that's it. Like
sorry, that didn't work. Next one, please.
Next one, It's like, oh, I didn't like that. Like I don't attach it to myself, even if it's something very personal, like, you know.
And I think also, like, when you talk about the people commenting on these forums and stuff like that, people get so precious about their opinion.
Yeah,
you can be absolutely fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's
that's
not even wrong. It's just like
or not an agreement.
Doesn't matter.
No,
it really
doesn't matter.
That's the worst thing. I guess, like, the best thing about social media is to let people connect and it gives you a voice. The worst thing about people, it lets you connect and gives you a voice. You know what I mean? Like, and you begin to think your opinion actually matters. And comedians, we're the worst for that. Like, we let people pay us money to stand on stage and give our opinions. But at least we're, I guess, like, compared to other art forms, like poetry or something, which is amazing. I'm not shitting on poetry.
You're totally going to shit on poetry.
No, but like it's about them. It is art.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that's the whole art craft thing. Like we're us, if we don't give the audience something funny, where it's transactional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We give people something, they give us laughter back.
Yeah.
And if they don't give us, if we don't give them enough to give us laughter back, we're not doing our job. We know we're not doing our job, and like so. You can't really go on that much of a political tirade because people are just like going to go, yeah, whatever, we don't care. You know, your opinion only matters as long as it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Unless, you know what I mean, you have diehard fans who believe in, you know, what you're about or something. And then it's not stand-up comedy. Then it's spoken word nearly, you know, like...
But it's fun to pander sometimes. I've done like...
I've
done some trans gigs or feminist gigs where I'm like, this is great. I get to just be like there's certain ones I get like, it's weird how the laughs change in different places.
Right,
certain material works and doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's also weird, like, I remember when first trans gig we did a trans only gig.
Was that tricky? Was there a lot of is there a lot of trans people involved in stand up?
There is now. Like,
is there?
There's a good scene like that came in sort of behind me, and they're just really good.
Are you leading the charge? So is that what you're saying?
No, because everyone wants to be the first. No, you know what I mean. Like not everyone wants first. Everyone wants you to be the first when you're trans. You're the first person to do this, and like, fuck off. I don't want to be special. Leave me alone. Don't put a target on my back. But no, like there was a couple before me that had stopped, and then a couple came behind, and together we just went, oh, okay, we can be dicks and be like, oh, I'm going to be the trans comic, or we can just like help each other out.
Yeah, okay,
so the first thing we did when a couple of us got into the scene together, when there was enough for us to have a lineup, we were like, we're doing a gig, and like people, like we get loads of people that came out that had never been to a comedy gig before.
Great.
Because trans people are always the fucking target in comedy. So
Yeah.
They don't like going to comedy clubs. So when there was a night where they're like, yes, we're not going to get fucking shat on for 90 minutes straight, they'll actually come out to it. But it was gas. It was like, I remember going on stage and it took me a minute to tell my first joke because of the applause. And I was like, this is what it's like to be a big... First I was like, is this what it's like to be a cis man? Then I was like, no, this is like what it must be like to be like a big name comedian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are there to see you. Like, they were there to see trans comedy. They weren't there to see Allie O'Rourke. But it's a similar vibe. You're like, shit. That's so... But like, weird little things you can just pander in certain ways, like, or you can just shit on certain people and they're like ha 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 ha, you know, it's like shitting on Ryanair in a normal comedy club, everyone will laugh.
I'm with you. Yeah. Well, that's too tempting not to do, like, you know what I mean? If I was in that position, absolutely. Now
you can panto it up though, that's the other side.
And the artist again, ironically, to put it in, would kind of make you go, oh, fuck, I can't keep doing this. But it would be too tempting not to fucking do that, to pander, like, to go have it. Like, I know my audience too. When I walk out into, say, the one night I remember walking out to the Empire in Belfast, and normally the Empire is full of off-duty taxi drivers and stuff. Yeah. But of late, the last few times I've done it, it's clearly people that listen to my podcast. Like,
nice.
You know, you can see it. It's a bunch of lads who good. They either look like me or they have beards. You know what I mean? And because they're just looking for somebody who's going to say, who doesn't do anything about the UVF, doesn't do anything about the IRA, doesn't do anything. But without taking the mic out of the mic stand, roaring laugh.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. And of course I leaned into it, something heavy, because that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
But also afterwards I was like, am I a bit gross for that? Like, but then I hung around for photographs and all the rest of it. So
Bert Kreischer and that crap up.
That man can't keep his shirt on now because people...
You had to do the machine for, like, even I tried to retire so many times. But it's such a good story. Like, it's such a good story. Like, I could listen to that about 5-6 times without getting sick of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a good... But, yeah, it's interesting. It's a similar thing to what you're doing. He's kind of built a brand around being accessible in a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's it. People like him. And then they like his comedy because they like him. As well as he's a great comedian.
Well, I've relationships with people I've never met.
Yeah.
You know, they just listen to the podcast. And they'll just shoot me a question on Snapchat or on Instagram, and I'll always give them something back, like, because it's like, well, you're paying now Patreons and stuff like that, of course you're going to get it, but regardless, you're getting it back anyway, like. Yeah. But I think it's just people want to soundboard, and they get a great kick out of it, like, you know, or I get a fiance or something going, would you make a short video for it? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Soundness of it all. No, well, like,
who the fuck am I to go no?
Yeah.
If I have a moment in the day, of course I will. Like, you know, I'm not Kevin Hart. I'm not, you know, there is a moment. I will find a moment in the day.
I wonder though, like those big names like Kevin Hart and stuff, would they, you know, comedians are such people pleasers. Like, they're simultaneously trolls, but also people pleasers.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I wonder, will a part of them be just like, they're that big, it's like, that, like, on an individual level, that would make somebody's day. Will I just do that just to please them?
You'll be guaranteed they do.
Yeah.
Like, in fairness, no, I don't think it's all for the cameras either, but apparently your man The Rock is unbelievable for doing that stuff off camera as well, like just turning up to kids' birthdays and stuff. Like,
just being sad.
How the fuck he has the time, I don't know, like, but... Apparently, just a people pleaser, like, just absolutely. Imagine the buzz you could give if you were somebody of that magnitude, like, you know what I mean?
Especially to children as well.
Yeah.
Like, you're like,
a superhero just walked through the door. Like, I piss myself if The Rock turned up at one of my birthday parties. Like,
I love that when The Rock actually does come back into fucking Davey Riley getting into
the Davey in his wrestling.
How do we get onto wrestling, Davey? We're coming for you, Davey. But Davey, when The Rock shows up randomly after not being in the WWE ages and everyone goes crazy, like, mental,
That's what I mean, or the glass breaking and all of a sudden Stone Cold walks out, like, you know, and The Rock still looks like he did 10 years ago. Now there's a man who's doing quite the opposite. He's taking a lot of HGH. There's no way a 52-year-old man can keep that shape. No matter how many gyms you go to, you ain't keeping that shape.
Muscles aren't gonna...
the elasticity of the skin does. But fair play, he's getting good shit, whatever he's getting it. Yeah. Apparently, they worked it out. Was it on a podcast I listened to? But they worked it out. They reckon for his mass, physically the size of him and all the rest, and the look he's on, he'd have to have the Rolls Royce of HGH, fucking hormones. But they reckon he'd have to be spending about $8,000 a week.
I love the irony of me about to say this, of all people. It's like, that can't be good for your health, taking that much hormones.
don't know. I mean, well, you're putting 20 fucking stone of muscle on your fucking heart as well in your 50s.
Wow,
who knows? Like,
yeah. Well, a lot of wrestlers have died.
Yeah. Well, you'd be guaranteed back in the day there was the roids too hardens up the veins apparently. That's what it fucks you is the roids. They harden up the veins.
I mean, all the head trauma as well. It must be so many strokes, stuff.
Well, you look at your man Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Sure. What was he snapped and shot the whole family, didn't he?
Did he?
He did.
Yeah.
He snapped one night, and they cut his. They did the slide. They check on his brain, and it looked like fucking Swiss cheese.
Oh wow.
The man had completely lost. He was storming around the house reading Bible verses, and he turned on his whole family, killed himself.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I've had 10 concussions, and I'm like, I hope that one comes back.
Fuck, have you?
Yeah. I'm a dafty.
How the fuck were you?
Skateboarding, kayaking.
Oh, kayaking too would fuck you up, alright.
Water, like landing off a waterfall and banging your head off something.
I know I've had a few. I couldn't put numbers on it, but I don't think I've ever had 10. I probably had 6 or 7.
Did you hurl growing up or something? From Tipperary.
I played a lot of rugby and hurling not so much. I wasn't tasty enough to play hurling.
Yeah.
Rugby you do, and more so it's not hitting people. What normally happens if you get smashed in a tackle and your ground whiplash or your head hitting the ground. That's the one where you really rattle your bell like in your.
Yeah, one of the mines from rugby as well.
Is it?
Yeah, I have a nice little scar just under my lip where I got kicked in the face tackling somebody off the edge.
Beautiful. Couple of stitches.
Put the incisor through the lip.
Nice.
I stood up and tackled him, and he was like looking at me horrified. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Mine came up through that part there. Yeah.
It's always fun. I love those little war stories and scars of rugby players.
Oh, I've got one where I thought I lost a nut. It was a guy stomped on me at the bottom of a rock.
Anyways,
they're easy ways to go about it. Evidently, there's fucking not in Ireland.
Oh, I'm really reaching for the low-hanging fruit here.
How long have we done? Because I know we both need to be out of here. We're over an hour. That's fantastic.
That's
great stuff.
Oh, we picked up so many threads and dropped them there, but that was good crack.
We actually did, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, it's just interesting thing because I guarantee you, most people haven't heard.
Yeah,
the inside story.
We didn't go into too much trans stuff there.
We didn't, but it didn't really have to because we're both comedians. It'd be one thing if you were just a flight attendant and you sat you down there, but you'd have fuck all to say then,
Yeah, even like I did Joe's podcast. I love Joe, and I think he's so funny. Joe Rooney, like.
Oh yeah, Pod Rooney, yeah. I was going Joe Rogan, fucking hell, fair play.
Yeah. I was like, I'm much bigger than you think. You're lucky to have me. No, but like, because it just. He was quite serious. It was like
Joe can be quite serious. Yeah.
Like after it's just like, that didn't feel like a chat between two comics.
No,
it was a really good podcast, but it was just very different.
And I think you have to have a goal in what your podcast is about, and mine is just having good crack chats. With interesting people, and the nuts and bolts of the conversation of them will come out in it anyway. Like, do you know, with pro rugby players, I'll only talk maybe only 15 minutes of it would be about their pro rugby career. Yeah. The rest would be just crack and banter, like, you know what I mean?
Good stories, like.
Good stories, but because normally a lot of the time is it that fucking interesting to have to tell the same thing a million times? Like, so that's.
I fucking hate sports biographies. They're so fucking
but most sports lads, unless they've got funny stories, they don't actually want to talk about it, especially if they're retired. They're like, come on, man. Yeah. Catch me when I was flying. You know what I mean?
That's weird, because we didn't really get into it, but I was like a pro kayaker. So,
were you pro?
Yeah, I was.
Sponsors and all?
Yeah, it sounds fancy, but it means I lived in a tent for like 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, it's the most dirtbag lifestyle, like, but like, I like finished top 10 in the world twice. So
Did you?
Yeah, I was decent. Like, I wasn't world class.
You ever tempted to go back at it?
Oh, I'm too old now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I nearly go back for the crack. Like, actually, I'm meeting some friends I haven't seen in ages later to come to one of my gigs, but like, they're back from Canada, but like, they're all, like, everyone's always at me to go back.
Yeah.
Like, even actually last year, they asked me to go back on the Irish team. I was just like, lads, you don't want me. And they're like, no, the new ones, they need an experience. You know, like, they need to kick up the arse from somebody.
Still though, I'd imagine it'd be savage work to get back to where you were, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of...
That's some uphill struggle, like, I'd imagine. Or do you stay in good nick just to
It's not even good nick, it's like, it's frustrating.
Right.
That's what it is, like, because it's not even about, like, it's, like, especially that because it's in Whitewater, so it's dynamic. It's like, It's like being able to read a game of rugby or hurling really well, but you just can't react to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
reaction time isn't there, like,
it's just like, oh, no. You know, it's just so, like, oh, man, like, I think I swam on this crappy little river near me. That I was like, oh man, I literally, last time I was in a boat, I ran a 60-foot waterfall. And I'm like swimming on a 2-foot rapid. What's going on? It's such a head fuck. Like, it's just like, oh man, that's like, the river's always humbling anyways.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's just going to kick the shit out of you.
Fuck you up anyway, regardless, yeah.
I love watching that, like, cocky young fellas get, well, it does, they nearly die all the time, so I have to, like, pull them out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to save their life. And, like, fuck's sake. But, like, it's also really funny to watch them get humbled. Like,
but so what you're saying is really to go back to that and not be where you were before would be sickening. Is that what you're kind of,
but if I went back, I'd probably just do freestyle, which is using a whitewater rapid to do, it's like the skateboarding.
Yes.
So you launch into the air and do flips and shit, and not using a whitewater rapid.
Right.
So I reckon I could get back to a good level at that. But the weird thing now is, because I'm losing so much muscle mass, like, I'm playing camogie I took up camogie last
year. Did you?
Yeah.
Fair play.
For the crack, like, I was like, I'm going to take up camogie. But at the same time, I took up comedy. I had some free time all of a sudden. I'm like, yeah. But, like, I play with an Irish language team.
Are you a Gaeilgeoir as well?
Nope.
Right.
I'm a whole bit about it. Like, I'm learning Irish, but, like, I showed up and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I still don't. But now I like watching or heard, like, I think in Irish when I'm around.
Do you?
Yeah, I'd be like, fucking cool, yeah. You know, like it's like, fucking hell. You know, like, it's this little thing, like, I start ranting at the ref in Irish when I'm watching TV, and my dad's
what a niche way of like a Gaeilgeoir only. Camogie team.
It's
That's
a big
brilliant.
team. Like,
is it?
Well, like that club in Gaeilgeoir is massive. Like, and there's underage teams and everything. Like, it's the biggest, fast-growing club in Dublin. Like,
that's savage.
And it's just cool crap. It's weird because it's like it's got a real parish feel to it, even though it's not a parish, because it's like this weird little community. And they were like, because Camogie Association were like, what's on your passport? And I was like, F. And they're like, grand, you can go play camogie. Like, we're not touching this with a barge pole.
Yeah,
like,
you can see why.
And I'm like, to the team, I'm like, lads, okay, this probably won't be an issue, but like this, like if the Star or the Mirror or something just pick up on this and decide to make me a fucking story, like, this could be hell. And they were like, fuck it, we don't care. So they're like, in a weird way, they're used to being a minority themselves, so they kind of get it. Yeah, and they're cool. And that team is weird because it's mostly Mutour, like primary school teachers. Of course. And then
not Mamoon.
Then there's the hipster core like me. Like, it's just like fucking, there's a girl who's a civil engineer and she runs, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like in her she runs that, like, there's it's Irish Bands an English organisation, and they go out and they fix up old ruins, and she's really into vernacular architecture and shit. But she be on Instagram, like, posting, like, take a picture of a old building and then, like, this was added in this century, and like, and it's like really nerdy but really cool. But there's all these weirdos, and she's like cycles to training in Phoenix Park in the summer on her fixie, and like her boyfriend shows up with his long hair, and they have their wolfhounds. They're lovely, but they're not like, yeah, you're cool, but a hipster as fuck.
So do you want to tell people just where they can follow you?
You can find me at Allie O'Rourke on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, ALLIE, and also check out my monthly night, Token Straight.
Where's that?
It's on in Sinead. It's and actually we're on the road.
Sinead down on the Keys.
Yeah, and now it's gone on the road a bit, and we'll be popping up different places. Keep an eye out for us.
Brilliant.
It's a queer comedy night, except we have a token straight person.
The name is on the fucking title, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good crack. It's inclusive. You don't have to be queer to come. It's just fun. Like,
brilliant stuff. Yeah. Ali, thanks a million. Hi, thanks again, of course, to Ali. Sound out. She was legging it out the door to do a gig. So I just noticed it started to fade in the background there, so that was the reason behind that. Also, we recorded on the kind of mobile gear, because it's just handier to record in the mobile gear upstairs in Whelan's at the time, because I was gigging there later on that night. So if you do want to go to her show, it'll be a bit of crack. I'm going to do it. Actually, she's to throw me a couple of days. I'm going to do the Token Straight. Fuck it. When do I get to be the Token Straight? I'm going to do the Token Straight night one night. So Allie.O'Rourke will find her on most usual platforms. So give her a look. She's dark as fuck when it comes to comedy. And if that's your bag, get after it. Like I said, there's the Patreon there. And anybody who does want to donate to the I Donate for Natasha's hair chop, which, if you haven't heard, she's chopping off nearly 13 inches off her hair to go towards wigs for the Little Princess Trust, where they make wigs for little folks who've lost their hair through treatment and all the rest of it. But she's raising money then. The money will go towards Friends of St. Luke's Cancer Care here in Dublin, who looked after her mother. So it'd be nice. Hey, you know what? If you could sling a couple of dollars and you were thinking about the Patreon, it ain't mean that much. You one off, sling a couple of euro at this. It's for a class fucking cause, you know what I mean? I'll put the link in the show notes down the bottom. Everything else, go ahead, hit subscribe. And don't forget to rate as well while you're at it. Right, go on away, love birds, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.